I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Jeff Charles, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Andrew Moran. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. When Donald Trump told conservative commentator Candace Owen that his people would be very, very happy with his decision about running again in 2024, it sent chills down the spines of Democrats. For the man who received more votes than any other president, 80 million or so, Joe Biden sure seems spooked that Donald Trump is hiding under the bed, ready to pop up again in 2024. In fact, the White House was adamant this week that Biden would not underestimate Trump should he run again. Why does the president appear to be so worried about the Trumpster? Jeff, let's go to you. Any thoughts?
I'm going to get some pushback on this, but Joe Biden is not a dumb person. He knows better than to underestimate Trump. And if he wants to remain president, which I still don't think he's going to finish out his first term. So I think a lot of this is posturing. I think he's going to step down. Kamala is going to be president, and she might be running against Trump. Either way, it is smart to not underestimate Trump, even if you don't think he's going to run. And the thing about Trump, we know he's a showman. He's P.T. Barnum. He's a P.T. Barnum of politics. So he's going to be teasing this, and he may not even be intending to run. He may be just trying to throw people off. But either way, if he does decide to run, whoever's going to be running against him from the Democratic Party better be ready, because even though Trump will be older, he still has that base, and they are going to still remain loyal to him. And by the way the Biden administration is performing right now, it doesn't look too good for them in 2022 or 2024. All the GOP has to do is not be dumber than the Democrats. And right now, I mean, they're kind of accomplishing that.
I was going to let somebody pick up from there. Anybody want to play off of that?
Well, I kind of do. Well, I gotta give it to Jeff. I think he just summed it up nicely. The man attracts crowds of 20,000 people. In the COVID-19 pandemic hazes, he was garnering as many people who could get past the gates wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. And right now, the first 110 plus days of Mr. Biden, we're seeing crises after crises after crises, and people are starting to get a little anxious. I don't think people are ready to just go, nope, not voting for him again. But I think they're starting to question whether he has the vitality or the virility to even continue to do this job. And that's going to play bigly in 2022.
Well, that's interesting that you brought that up. Just this morning, not one, but two Republicans, I was shocked when they both said they're not so hip on Trump running in 2024. One of the people told me it was because of his age. And the other one said, he's too divisive. We'd be better off with a DeSantis. Your thoughts, Tim?
Well, one of the things that's clear is that if Trump runs in 2024, I can't see that anybody's going to beat him. But I wonder if the passion for Trump is going to be equaled by the type of broad support he had before. Because of January 6th. And I think that is the single strategy that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, or whoever the Democratic nominee is in 2024, they're going to just scare the people to death. That if Trump runs again, there'll be another insurrection at the Capitol. And I think they may not need much more than that. And that's why I'm afraid that Donald Trump may have become totally nominatable. Nobody's going to beat him in the Republican Party. But I don't know that he's electable unless he can somehow compensate for the last couple of months of his administration. Just being realistic.
All right. Andrew?
Yeah. Well, everyone says he's 77, but this guy has more energy than I do, and I'm 33. This guy has a diet of Diet Cokes and McDonald's hamburgers. He doesn't sleep, and he has more energy than than all of this panel combined. So I don't think his age is quite relevant. But overall, I'm mixed on this. On one hand, Trump was entertaining and he was more effective than other Republicans. He made his mark on the GOP. He transformed the party from the likes of the Cheneys and the Bushes and the McCains. But on the other hand, isn't it time for the party to move on and find some new America first blood? He could use his heavyweight status to lend his support to Trump Republicans in the 2022 midterms, and then decide from there if he has enough actual American first Republicans to see if he runs in 2024 and he would have the legislative support to advance the Trump agenda. So I think it's still way too early to be talking about 2024. As Jeff said, Biden could step down, Kamala Harris could be president. So there's a lot of factors that could play into it. In the meantime, all the energy would probably be focused on the midterms in 2022, and then that's when Trump will probably decide if he's running or not.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned old blood for the Republicans. How about the Democrats? I mean, is there any way that they put Biden up against Trump, Jeff?
That's a good question.
He's still going to be not Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that they'd put Biden up against Trump again. I mean, I think if he actually wanted to run, maybe. I mean, because it might be hard to unseat him. But at the same time, I don't see any Democrat winning in 2024 unless, again, the Republican Party ends up being dumber. And I wanted to add one thing, too. And even though I don't agree with what social media did, I think him being banned is working for him. I think it's helping him more than hurting him, because they're not able to use Trump to distract from what Biden is doing. Could you imagine if he still had Twitter and Biden does something ridiculous? They would just say, oh, but look what Trump just tweeted. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Now, again, I don't agree with the decision. They should give him his platforms back. But I like what he's doing right now. And I'm in the camp that doesn't want him to run in 2024. I like what he's doing right now, being kingmaker. I like him picking at the establishment. He is focused, and he's still in the public eye. He just isn't in the social media eye. And I think he's being a lot more effective. I'm loving it. So I don't see Democrats pulling anything off in 2024. I mean, I can't think of what they would have to do to turn this ship around right now. We've got this energy crisis going on right now. We've got the border crisis, which they're not even trying to solve. I mean, we've got other issues going on that they're going to mishandle because he and his team are incompetent, and there's no way around that.
Sarah.
Well, I think what Trump is doing is just being the boogeyman. He's scaring the heck out of people. He's dropping little hints here and there. He's not made any declarations. He's got a seriously solid base, but I don't think he has plans to really run in 2024. I think he's enjoying the fact that he's scaring the crap out of Joe Biden and the other Democrats. And I think he's going to continue to do that. So they're going to waste their time running around talking about Trump when, Trump's got a card up his sleeve and it's going to be played and they're going to go, oh, crap, we didn't think of that. I think that's what he's doing.
I think you need to bifurcate Trump, his policies, and the person. If they can find someone who can promote the America First agenda effectively and yet have a more, shall we say, palatable personality to a broader audience, I think the Republicans are in good shape in 2024. And the guy who's positioning himself to be that is Ron DeSantis.
Exactly.
The governor of Florida is following a complete MAGA agenda, including his outspokenness. But he's not Trump. He's a fresh voice with the same agenda. It seems to me that's the winning formula for the Republicans in 2024. And I think Joe Biden and everybody else knows it. They can demonize Trump. And they'll try to demonize DeSantis or Tim Scott. They're already doing that. They're whack-a-moling anybody who pops up. Tim Scott pops up, boom. Ron DeSantis pops up, boom. But they'll only be able to do that for so long.
the names you mentioned, like Tim Scott, or even Christie Noem, they don't have the fight that Ron DeSantis has with the press, and I mean that in a good way. He can really take on the press, not lose his footing, not lose his cool, state the facts, and it just looks like he knocked them out in just 30 seconds in one round. So Ron DeSantis has that with him that people, a lot of America First Republicans will love to see. The media being pounced on by Ron DeSantis. He's not, you don't have Ron DeSantis to kick around anymore. I think that would help him heading into 2024 if he decided to run.
Well,
I agree. I think if there is no other Republican trying to get the nomination who has that pugilistic attitude towards the press and towards the Democratic Party, Ron DeSantis will be the nominee. I love Tim Scott. I love Tim Scott, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that type of fire. I mean, he low key has clapbacks, but the people want somebody who's a bruiser. They want somebody who's going to say you are fake news.
Yeah, I think Scott is a little too urbane. Where you're right, DeSantis is, he's a force to be reckoned with, and he clearly, one policy after another in Florida, and he's, we spent part of the year in Florida. He's quite loved by the Republicans in Florida. But let's just take a quick poll before we go. Does he or doesn't he? Does Trump run in 2024 or not? Just a yes or no. We're going to start with you, Andrew.
Well, I'm going to say no.
Jeff?
I'm going with no.
Sarah?
Nope.
Tim?
Unanimous.
No, that's not true. I didn't weigh in yet.
Unanimous among the lesser people on the team.
I say yes, Trump is going to run. Mainly because he doesn't like to go out a loser, and he doesn't want to be seen that way. And I think he is very energetic, as Jeff said, and he's ready to take the stage. All right, that's all we have time for. Thanks very much for joining us. Be sure to watch a few other of our C5 segments. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all our TV productions. Thanks so much for tuning in, and remember to surf on over to libertynation.com. Sign up for our new member zone, just $29.99 for the entire year. This has been a production of libertynation.com, conservative news where truth matters.